with looks, that's another thing that really, this is the reason so many young children have eating disorders and, you know, do all kinds of...
Because humans don't allow themselves to be able to focus on more than one thing at a time. And so when we say this now, they're going to say, oh, but you're beating up on women. But men, what about men? Like, Jesus Christ, yes, you all are equally toxic. We get that. Right now we're talking about this particular thing. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
But it's rough. And me and you notice that because we present in the other group, in the group that's other. It's so weird. There's just a narrow road that women can fit on to be considered right.
Yeah.
And now women have taken to elective surgery to correct what they've been taught is a flaw, and they're being fucked with for that too. Like, listen to me. I don't have any problem with the body augmentations. I don't choose to do it, but it's not a moral decision. It's not. I don't see it. I don't see myself as superior because I didn't choose to put in breasts or put in butt. If you want to do that, it's your body. You can. It's however you feel comfortable or however you think you will feel comfortable. And sometimes until you get the comfort here, you end up trying to get the comfort below your neck or sometimes on your face or maybe on your hair. You try to get it on the outside because you didn't yet master it on the inside. And that's most of us didn't master it on the inside. We find different ways. You maybe somebody else, a woman might put in a butt. That guy over there, he bought a car or a bike. We do different things to augment us, to try and get the approval of our peers or our environment. And so we should really cut each other a little bit more slack because we're just all trying to cope. This is not easy. We don't make it easy for each other. You know, we're really, really bad for each other socially and psychologically. So I'm looking at women now. The biggest argument I'm hearing about women who do the augmentation are from women.
Now, from women. I had a tummy tuck after, you know, I had 4 children. My stomach was, I had gained a lot of weight, lost a lot of weight and whatever. So when I had a tummy tuck, I definitely felt shame from women, not men. And it was something to do with my whole reason for having it. Had a breast lift as well. My whole reason for doing them, and this was like, we're talking 2011. So this was just before this surgery big trend kind of thing came out. This was before that. So, but it was like me, I had my first child. I had Leigh Cushy when I was like 17, I got pregnant. I had never experienced my body other than what motherhood had, you know, put on it. So in me reclaiming my body and reclaiming myself, that was something I wanted to do. And even then, the majority of the men were more like, okay, if you want to do it, do it. Not that I had lots of opinions, but yeah, if you want to do it, do it. But women were like, there was this big shame thing from women that I was being ashamed of my body that brought my children. There was just this whole load of shame attached to me doing something that I don't know, it was weird. And then this whole like surgery trend thing came shortly afterwards, where like women are literally like killing themselves for spending a little bit of money to follow a trend. But then if you don't have it, you're kind of looked down on. It's really weird. The toxic femininity thing just is so broad, and it's like...
Let me tell you what's funny for me. Let me tell you what really fucking funny for me. Funny to me is the fact that I have seen people hold me up as an example of natural. I too have done lipo. I did it in 2006, I think. Got a fucked up lipo job. Can you see it?
Okay.
I can't look at, oh yeah. Me still have my pajama buttons. My lipo put some lines in my belly, which weren't there. I had a really smooth belly skin. I would call it flawless because there was nothing on it that people would call a flaw. But it looked big to me, and I was skinny as fuck. But this is what Kelly introduced to me as body dysmorphia, that I was looking at myself and saw fat. And I thought my belly was big. No, I didn't even have any fat on my belly. And if I didn't have a waist. The only thing good that came from lipo was that they cut me a waist. in the process. Oh yeah, and I had a wart at the top of my pelvic area, and they took that off. And they gave me an innie belly button, and I had an OT before. But can you imagine my amusement, my sick, twisted, macabre sense of humor, listening to people hold me up as a flag of naturality and saying, this is who you should be like. I've never seen Tanya Stephens do this. No, these are the things that we need to stop. When people say Tanya Stephens never take off her clothes, Tanya Stephens has a condition which stems from surviving sexual violence, which makes her unable to take off her clothes. Don't prescribe that for no fucking body else. If people are comfortable enough to take off their clothes and do whatever they want, let them do it. Because prior to me being assaulted, I used to wear more shorts. I'm just starting to wear shorts again. I love shorts. I live in a Caribbean country. It's hot as fuck. I used to like that. I used to make myself mini skirts. I used to make my mini skirts. I used to sew a lot more than I do now. And when I hear people saying that, I glitch because I am offended by them using me as a prison when I am in prison.
Now this, I hate when people or men a lot, but people put me in a prison by deciding something that I didn't decide about myself and using me as some kind of weapon against other people.
But a woman, like, fuck off. Do not use me as a stand. And when I say this, like, it's so hard because you're given like a minute or 5 minutes max to cram all of your explanation into, so you can only get in a punchline. So most times I just stay silent because I can't explain what I'm saying. And you know, every time I speak, people deliberately misconstrue what I say. So if I don't have the time to dissect it and make it simple, make it into baby feeding, then I don't bother to say it. And I can't. It's just so much. But when I look at them comparing the other young ladies to me, they're young. Let them enjoy their bodies. Let them enjoy their bodies, for fuck's sake. It's theirs. Stop trying to impose or project your insecurities on them. They don't feel insecure. If they want to wear that, let them wear it. It literally don't do nothing to you. It does nothing to you. And if the environment is unsafe for them in a particular item of clothing, then you need to work on the environment. Make the fucking environment safe so that your kids can walk out however they feel like. Let them express themselves. We're creating little mad people. We have one entire world full of mad people just walking around in clean clothes. It's a mad people because we are manufacturing mad people. The way we repress people, we stick them into a box. Listen, if you want to do your lips, go do your lips. If you feel like your lips are thin, and you look in the mirror and you feel like this is something that I can't handle because it makes me feel less than, I wish I could get inside of your head and rewire it and make you feel better about your lips the way they are. But that would also be wrong for me to get inside of your head and rewire it for any reason. Because if tomorrow morning we wake up and find out none of this means shit, which I think none of this means shit, I will have actually stolen your life from you. And I can't go back and fix that. What if I always ask this question, what if you're wrong? Live your life with enough room for you to be wrong. You can be wrong. We've been proven wrong so many times since the beginning of time.
And this is the thing that women are not allowed in general. Women are not allowed to be wrong. So someone's not allowed to say they have a bad mother. And what else was I going to say about that? It's gone, sorry. But yeah, that live your life with a space to be wrong, that's like a gem right there. Like, because it only puts you, like, because there was a time when I really had to realize to myself, a lot of the things I was scared of and the judgments that, like, for example, we just used Zidane as an example. I was what I thought was the perfect parent up until Zidane come and prove me wrong. If I was in public and a child was making noise, I didn't want to hear that. That's not what I came out for. I wouldn't make them. I stopped at making them feel bad for their child making noise in a social space, but inside myself, I didn't really want to hear that. So, but a lot of these things was my judgment. A lot of the things I worried about was my judgments that I was making on other people, on other people's parenthood, on the way other people presented themselves and stuff like that. But once I let go of all of that, that gave me the freedom just to be who I am. So it was like a bigger freedom for me for letting go of all of them judgmental perspectives that I had, then it even is for other people, because nobody cares what fuck I think anyway. But yeah, I don't know why I said that. I don't know where I got to there, but you know what I'm like.
No, we like how you like. But yeah, we operate from a basis of pure judgment. Our judgment, which we learn from others who judge us and judge other people. Like, this is why I always say, be careful of the conversation, because the conversations create the environment, and then the environment is where we are. So we act in ways which make us comfortable within the environment. So this is why it keeps repeating. The behaviors keep repeating, because this is what I came and saw. For example, when it comes to sexual violence, my responses were tempered by what the conversations I heard around me before experiencing sexual violence. So I looked at what I didn't want any of. When I heard how people spoke about that girl, I tried to keep it private, because I didn't want them calling me that. I didn't want them calling me that. And when you think about the environment that we create with everything, and it's not limited to music, and music isn't the biggest source of it, it's the individual conversations on the street. But when I stand up in an asylum and I hear Beanie song for the first time, 6 man back her down last week, Saturday, because she a battery dolly, I cried behind my glasses. I cried. I had my drink in my hand, and I fucking cried. Thank God for darkness and sunglasses in darkness. And I couldn't drink anymore. And I just stood there with the drink in my hand, feeling stupid, looking stupid. I don't know if I look stupid to people, because they probably didn't notice. And I was just wiping tears in asylum, with Earl and Goldfinger over by the counter to my left and me over on the side. And that was the first time I actually heard that song, the words in that song. And I bawled. And then I left, jump in a vehicle, drive off, find a quiet spot, and just bawl it out, because fuck a duck, that's what I am. This thing that happened to me is now me. I am Battery Dolly. Really? Did not do it. Did nothing to cause it. Just happened to have bad friends, or happened to have bad environment. Well, it's not bad environment neither, because these bad people are everywhere. And this is all environment. All the bad things I heard were from women. To be honest with you, beyond men calling women battery dolly and acting like women invite this kind of behavior, the everyday conversations from women was what really killed me back then.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I think I'd agree. And this is where the whole toxic femininity thing, if we're going to tie it back, it just creates the breeding ground for toxic masculinity, and for people, and it causes most of the hurt for people in situations like what you just described and I've been through and stuff like that. The judgments from women were the worst, and they almost confirmed the, like, you know, like the men would have their alibis or reasons why things happened, and the judgments from women confirm that, because here are these women saying that, yeah, I would never be in that place wearing that or whatever. Because women kind of in the general space hold the moral authority, they're supposed to. Women are supposed to uphold, you know, the moral authority. Once women begin to co-sign something that's toxic and dangerous to women, it still becomes the norm. It still, yeah, it definitely hurts more. It definitely hurts more and causes more damage coming from women having experienced stuff like that.
Yeah. You know, let me just stick in a little disclaimer here that this is, again, I said it before, this is not an anti-woman rant. We're just trying to use your word, unpack some behaviors and traditions that we notice, which could use improvement, and the intention is to improve. Not to point at it and say you're bad, but to say we have this problem, let's solve it. And acknowledgement is the first step to solution. And that's what we do. We acknowledge things in ourselves too. Like, I applaud you a lot, Randy. Me just really in awe of you. Your thought process, your willingness to look for yourself. You know how hard it is to look for yourself? You must know because you look for yourself. Most people can't do it. Most people can't do it. They can look at their skin and them can adorn it for try and deflect from the inside, the real self. And the more problems them have with the inside is the more things them do to the outside. And what we need for a look on is the inside and help people to face that. But me really appreciate you for your ability to look inside yourself and your individual self, your household, your community, and all of the different groups you belong to, including the universal set. And I really like that. I benefit so much from you. I can acknowledge that you're one of my teachers and my life much richer for having you in it. And I hope say the same happen for everybody upon this live this morning and whoever will see it. After me sound like me I sum up my sermon, right? Maybe we can chat some foolishness after because this has been kind of heavy. But really happy say you agree for come on. By the way, people, Randy, another most extrovert person, you know. Because when I ask at first, me did I brace myself here and know. I'm so happy my heart turned like a papa lick when me hear you say yes.
This is the first time I've never been live in my life.
Yeah, Randy does most of her laughing, talking, everything on the inside. But I'm so happy say you decide to join me because you have so much to teach, so much. Every time you open your mouth, gems come out. Gems fucking come out. And me just happy say the people who depend on my life, who never familiar with you before get a chance to hear the way your mind works. And start acknowledging people who don't have enough people like we in our environment, just not acknowledge them. And them I try to talk to you. And you guys are not listening, just listen, please. I'm not saying we're more special. No, we think about things differently than you do. And this is the reason why we listen to you, because you think differently than we do. So on the need to start, listen more, pay attention. And if your child seems to be an introvert, try to get into conversation. Just be available and allow them to lead you and go with them. You'd be surprised what your fucking picnic can teach you. You would be surprised what you can learn from your child. Some of you have some prodigy, some genius under on the roof. When me don't know how some dumb people can get some smart picnics, but Jesus, pay attention to them and start to listen and learn. Because some of you are trying to teach your stupidity to your children. And your children actually know better than you already. Just listen to them, please. I beg you. Me not this, you know. Me not this, you know. Me not this, you know. Me just call it as it is. You have one smart picnic we say in one be a rocket scientist and you are trying to turn him into what you used to be. Because you feel like you didn't fulfill your purpose in that role. So now you want your picnic to continue. Pick up a button. Your life is not a fucking relay. It's not a relay. Stop trying to put your button in the hands of your child. Because you're putting a compound earth to complete you. You facilitate them entry on earth to become themselves. Stop projecting your feelings of failure onto your children. Stop. Just listen to them. Them can teach you. You have one pit in your house with autistic. Jesus, stop hiding in the back room and start making talk. You'd be fucking surprised where you can learn from that genius.
100%.
Because you think autism is a superpower.
I agree. 100% it's a superpower. 100%. Like the ability to just
and
to the it's a superpower.
I haven't met Zidane physically yet. I may already learned so much from this Raz boy. So much. There's so many things about me where in change in a very subtle ways. It just make me pivot a bit. Because perspective is everything, you know. When you stand up in your one spot and resolute in your convictions and decide, this is it, me know. First of all, let go the stance of me know. No, we don't know nothing. We are try. We are figure, we are feel. This is why me hold me hold my thinking much more sacred than my learning, my formal learning. My formal learning allow me to function in other superficial space where I live. But my thinking allow me to function in the other realm, which is more spiritual. It's outside of this physical thing, outside of the body and the skin and the clothes and the car and the house and the money. All of that is the superficial side of our life where we complicate because we keep introducing new shit where we have to navigate. I'm so tired of this system. May hope say that Sheldon, yeah, I'm going to bring one new system where I go simplified. Much simpler. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired for fight against, I'm tired for swim against the tide where say me need for behave in one particular way. When me not interested in that. Me would have much rather just live on a piece of land and plant. Right now, I have cocoa grow. My cocoa, them a beer. Craig plant cocoa. I'm happy. Banana. Stuff where we have to struggle to make them grow here, so because of the salt spray. But we have things that grow, and that make me happy. I realize maybe this is not the place I needed to be. I love the water. I'm a cancer. I love water, but what I really need to be living on is a farm. I like get up in the morning and go outside, go pick my breakfast. I like if you know so I have fresh chicken. Sorry, vegans, but you need to understand. Vegan is your choice. Carnivore is mine. I love to have fresh chicken with just kill. Me know say it not come from one truck from a million miles away. No Purdue fucking chicken in a Jamaica. You get chicken imported from one different country. Going a one big blood clot iron box, sail across the sea, come over here so to me I eat it. How much days old? How long old is it? I'ma put it in my body. Me have chicken and I want to cook up this one. You cut off their neck and pick them. My mother say you know if you eat them the same day. But me see her eat them the same day. But me know say them fresh. You know? Maybe we shouldn't eat flesh, but at least the flesh are fresh.
Yeah.
And that's the way we
cycle into that place where I'm shedding all of these things that we don't need. Like I'm definitely always in my garden growing things, you know, the little that we can grow here in England. And yeah, I'm kind of over this whole system as well. Like I'm over it.
Yeah. And I think our numbers are growing. People are starting to see this shit for what it is. And don't get me wrong, you know, I have nothing against money. People, I'm not Jesus. I'm not saying you should give up all your wealth and riches and come follow me and we go walk on the road and then beg food. That is fucking dumb. But I'm saying a more sustainable life is what most people are moving towards now. I like it. This trend is nice. That we're starting to listen to each other more, and somehow, including some on the live, need to listen more. Me too. Because when I listen, I learn a lot. And especially from people like you, Randy. I think we should have talked some carelessness before we go because all right, so let me tell you why I do this. People tell me, say something really smart, and then after that, I say something really stupid. It's slightly deliberate because people need to stop. People need to stop pigeonholing smart. People need to stop pigeonholing and smart and making it exclusive to particular personality types. Because every personality type is smart. And the fact that somebody's smart, you know, another thing what them do to we women, for you to be considered smart, you can't put on one short, you can't make your body jaw drop out, you can't have a mini skirt, you can't wear one halter top, your breast can't show, you can't have a nice hairstyle, you can't pretty or sexy or none of that. Smart have to be frumpy and unappealing and unattractive. Fuck that shit. Smart also can twerk. Smart can also whine to the ground. We need to stop. We need to let go of these stereotypes. So I talk fuckery in equal amounts to the smart shit I say, because people need to understand, say, it's not one or the other.
100%. That's me too.
Smart
like sometimes I'll have said something really intellectual and profound on social media, and the next minute I'll be talking something totally the opposite. But that's just kind of who I am. One time you said somebody on your live told you, thank you for being yourself, and you said, who else could I be? Like, who else could I possibly be? So yeah, just definitely of us as who we are. Like, I always ask people, which part in show me that I must have been not there the day when, in my degree, when they said that to be smart or to pass this degree, you can't enjoy sex, you can't wear shorts, you can't whine, you can't twerk, all of these things, because they're not mutually exclusive. You don't have to be smart or sexy. You can be both of them. And that's just a whole nother turmoil that goes through women when they feel they have to pigeonhole themselves into one box, and they see other people able to hold duality. That's another whole part where, sorry, let me not start because you was winding down.
Yes, it's true that them feel like you have to be one thing or the other, and that smart women don't do particular things, and we get typecast a lot. We get stereotyped, and the moment you do one thing, the first thing you do, that's you, and you're never able to be anything else either. So we're not allowed to be multiple things, and we're not allowed to change. You can't grow up. And I don't like the word change. Not change, but grow beyond.
Evolve.
Grow beyond. Because there are things which don't serve me anymore, which I let go of, but I don't judge them. I don't have a problem with them. I see nothing wrong with them. If that's you, do you. And this is it. We move from a behavior, and suddenly the behavior is bad. And this is what society has taught us, to be ashamed of where we're coming from. I cannot be ashamed of where I'm coming from. That's what brought me to where I am, and I love where I am. So there's no fucking way nobody's going to convince me to be ashamed of my entire designing process. I am a designer body, you know. Me design me. Every morning I wake up and see something in me when I like, me take it out. A designer that. Me's a designer girl. So, me nah knock no process at all. We go through all different kinds of experiences to get to where we want to get to. And of course, me learning out math. So the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Me don't know if I'm maths, me learn that in one of the sciences. I don't know, and I don't care. But it sounds like it makes sense to me. So the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But you know what? Sometimes the shortest distance of one mountain in the way, or a gully, one lake, and you can't swim. You're not a boat. So you have to take you take a wiggle path to get to your destination. And that's okay too. There are many ways to get there. And we need to stop prescribe a way and try mandate a way. This is something we need to do. So if you're one woman, stop looking at the other woman like, but them girl, the moment you start turning your mouth like this, just shut the fuck up. Nothing good now come. Nothing good now come. Shut the fuck up. You know, when you see them, you can look at the mouth and tell which mouth is going to fix itself to say some shit. You know them, talk to it. Some of them will have the permanent duck mouth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the moment I see them, my spirit just cross. Like, you know, I say nothing now, but still shut the fuck up. You know your man. What women say, you know, it's the women who are biggest on keeping the laws in place in Jamaica. The rules which say you can't enter a building. In this shirt that I have on, I cannot enter majority of government buildings. Strictest policy. In a Jamaica we're hot like Satan batty hole. You have to cloak up for go in a one place. And then I put in a AC in the fucking building.
Nah, these laws
You're mad.
I'm in Jamaica, I always somewhere forget when I've got to deal with I always somehow forget to bring a cardigan or do something. First of all, I don't know how they work in these buildings with no AC and their shirts and their whatnot. But
Button up with tie.
Some lousy security guard at the front that's just, as I'm approaching, I can almost see his face already. The joy is building in him for him to turn me back. Like, I always get caught by these guys. Like,
yeah, the joy. The joy is correct because they love it, you know. Nothing love to tell people you can't come in. Them love to turn your back. Oh my God, this is what them do them do it psychologically. Them do it economically, every kind of alley. Them do it in every alley. You can't come in. Socially, as far as class and economics and education, we do it on every level. You can't come in. Every level.
That love to do. When the first lockdown started, there was this woman that works in pets at home near my house, and she was just enforcing the law more than anybody. Like, she was just going crazy out there. And what these people don't realize is that when that wave has passed, you are still going to be there, because COVID is finished now. She's still standing out in the cold. Like, everybody can walk in however they feel like, but collectively people uphold these silliness. And well, I'm not saying that the COVID lockdown in the beginning was silliness, but the way she behaved was silly. So people uphold silly behaviors, and when the whatever it is has passed, they've almost put themselves in a stupid little box now that they themselves can't come out of. It's like weird. It's just weird.
Like, look at me now. You have to watch me pass with it. Like, if Jamaica ever steps out of colonial mindset and decides to let people walk into buildings looking good idea. Why didn't I think of that? If people ever decide to change these rules and allow humans to be comfortable, and all of these people at the door just look so fucking dumb, because how you feel, nothing changed, but here I am, comfortably walking in. I think it comes from something else too. It's like a feeling of invalidity in their own life. Could it be that they feel invalid, and now this is a chance for them to exercise authority over you, so that makes them valid? Suddenly there's somebody like, maybe we ignore them all the time. Do you know me? We might be the cause of this, because we ignore them all the time. We don't see them. Sometimes we pass by the guy holding the door and we don't even say thanks when he holds the door for us. And I say we loosely because I say thanks when people hold the door for me. But to pass and not even say hi, people feel invisible. And then suddenly you need his approval to get in.
100%.
No, I'm valid. Let me see how you like me now, bitches.
I saw my memories on Facebook a couple of days ago, where there was this security guard at my college that I was in at the time. And I must have traced him one day, because he was doing too much anyway. He's forced me to wear the thing around my neck. When I said, I've got it here, you can see that I'm a member of this institute. Anyway, he did too much one week, but then the next week I left my pass at home, and I had to come back, and I really never had to embarrass him the way I did the first day. I didn't. So it was calmer for me. And I had to beg him like a stray dog to come in.
You fuck, are you?
These things definitely play out themselves. People that felt unseen and disregarded. Sometimes professionally, that's where they can leverage their power, or they go into professions where, because half of the police in America that, meet the headlines and stuff like that, you should never have become a policeman. Like, there's been things in your past and stuff like that where I can see that, you've been through stuff. So I just feel like certain people, all of that to say that, yes, I definitely feel like certain people gravitate towards certain careers, or when they find themselves in certain positions, exercise that same thing that you were saying, that being disregarded, that need to be seen, that whatever it is.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't think of it before. Like, maybe. But because, we build our own environment too. We attract things, parts of us attract things that we don't want, because we have some parts of it. So when you start seeing the things that you don't like, then you search inside and see what part of you attracted it and get rid of it so it can stop coming.
100%.
There's also that. But as a group, we have work to do. We're doing it though. I can applaud us, because right now, this morning I was talking to my agent in Italy in their room, and they had a march yesterday. They had a gathering in a room, a protest gathering. Somebody sent me a video and they said it was Rome, so I reached out to him and asked him, and he said, yeah, that's true. And he wasn't there because he went off to join another group, and they're organizing their trucker convoy protests on the 14th of February. They're going out, and the convoy is going to Brazil. So they're going to drive to Brazil, and I'm just sitting thinking, I'm really sorry that it took something like this to be the catalyst for us to come together, but I'm really happy we came together, we are coming together. Have you ever seen humans cooperate with each other this much since you're born?
True.
I've never seen it, and I've never studied it in history either.
True.
I've never seen it. It's never happened. And right now across the world, we're on one. We have a consensus, and we're not even meeting with each other and planning these things. It's kind of like
first show that I ever saw with you. You spoke about the power of mass consciousness, and I definitely feel we're in that place of mass consciousness now. Definitely.
And we've actually reached a tipping point. Bumper clap, me so happy. My heart swell, Lord. Because the humans are finally making me actually love them. Yeah, I've kind of loved them before. Kind of. But now, I feel, every morning I wake up, there's something else where I have goosebumps about. Never get this before. And they're starting to tackle other problems. And for example, when I look at the Trucker Convoy Instagram page from Canada, I saw some people coming on there and saying, you know, white supremacists and this person, they call names. And then I saw that the organizer, the person who holds the page, made a post and said, a lot of things have been brought to my attention, and we are dealing with it. We just wanted to know that all of these things are being dealt with. And it's like, fuck. Yes. This is evidence of us being the intelligent creatures that we claim to be. Because we've always claimed to be the most intelligent animal. I've never seen evidence of that. The only thing we do is we innovate and invent things to either prevent the damage that we're doing or to correct the damage that we're doing or to be lazy. That's what we do. And then we applaud ourselves feet like we're so fucking smart. Like, no, you're lazy. You're lazy. Your ass don't want to get up and press a button on the TV, so you create a remote. Fucking lazy. I am one of those humans. I am very lazy. I don't know how no button on the TV work. If the remote don't work, I'm fucked.
Me too.
But that's lazy. I don't think that's creative or innovative at all. That is finding a way to accommodate laziness. We don't walk. We don't want to walk. Well, obviously, it's hard for walk to America still, so we didn't need a plane, but we don't want to spend a long time sailing. We're impatient. And we plan our lives like there's a shortage of time. So we cram a lot of stuff into it and then complain that we're running out of time. No, bitch, you cram too much into your time. So at first, when I started out going on the road, I used to do shows like every day on tour, or almost every day. We'd have just one day off, and sometimes we work on the day off, and sometimes we had 2 shows in a day. I've had 2 shows in a day. And I would come home. I remember one time I came home after tour, and I had no throat. No throat at all. Girl, no throat. It's like me out of back road just I give be a blow. Not throat. I'm come home, I have to go ENT specialist, and then I have to go speech therapy. Pronounce but my vowels from scratch. No throat. And then I wonder, is the paycheck worth it? Because number one, I not enjoy none of the places where I visit. I not enjoy none where I visit. I don't know. I know the airport. I know the hotel. Sometimes I can recognize the landmarks on the drive if I'm not asleep because I'm tired as fuck. And I know the venues. Over time, I get to know some of the faces in the shows because people come back. I know some of the promoters and I know the agents. And I know engineers, like technical hands. But I don't know the places. I don't know. I couldn't walk around. Enough of the town that I can't walk around and find my way go nowhere. Because I don't know the place intimately, I just know the place. I don't know the place at all. I'm wonder, is it worth it? At the end of this, when I look at other artists before me, I see artists perform until they drop down on stage. And they go out the way there. I may look on it like, is this what I want for myself, or is this what I've been told I should want or I should do out of gratitude for getting this position? Because my boss now me have an obligation for work till me dead. For work like a horse. For spend a lot. Earn a lot so me can spend a lot. So me I have a bigger hand but a even bigger mouth. So me still a live hand to mouth. I'm not enjoying none of the fruits of my labor. And I'm like, hell fucking no, this is not what I signed up for. I want to relax. I want to go home. I want to go home. I don't want to be on the road 24 hours a day. I want to go home. I want to know if I miss my daughter first step. I miss every graduation. I miss most birthdays. There's so much, good morning, so much what I miss. I mean, I want to miss things no more. I want to come up. I couldn't cook. I never have no reason for no for cook. Me eat a restaurant. Me eat backstage. Me eat at the festival. Me not have no reason for no for cook. Most of the time, not even. There was one point in my life when I was living, where I was living, I had a kitchen and I bought a stove. And then I traded it with my mother for fair stove because she had a smaller stove. And I realized I no cook. So I'm like, why me need this stove? So I traded it with her for the stove where I grew up with, by the way. And I bring that stove and put it in my yard. It was still working. Still look almost new because she used to pull it apart and wash it and put it back together. And then I have that stove that I had, and one day, the Star newspaper had a segment that was cooking with the stars or something like that. And them reach out to me for the cooking with the stars. And I said, bumbo clap, I can't use that stove. I can't use that stove. I had no pot. So I go out and buy one stove. That's how I buy a stove. I buy a stove. And I buy some pots. But guess what? You see, because girl no cook, me no cook. So you know, so when I buy a pot, I buy aesthetically. So I buy a set of glass pots. Because the glass, they just look so fucking pretty. And yeah, it look nice. So I buy the glass pot. But me no cook and me no remember nothing about science. I mean, I remember the hot and cold rule with glass. So I put in my oil and I brown my chicken. And then I go cook it down now. So I go throw in my seasoning them and stuff. And I dash it in the hot glass pot. And the man taking picture of them and I stir and him walk away. You see as him walk out, that was the last picture for sure how it a cook down. You see as him walk through my front door and jump in and carry me here. Boom! And splatter. You see when I go in the kitchen and look, it's a fucking lucky thing when they come out. The pot explode. Chicken all over. Chicken and glass. Like bomber clad. Crime scene. That was my life. And then one day I just get up and say, fuck it. I go stop. I calm down. One of my co-workers, a keyboardist from Amsterdam, actually introduced me to somebody with an apartment that she was willing to let for the summer. And we start rent. And live in Amsterdam in the summertime. Stop doing shows all week. Let go of the tour bus, the bus lifestyle. And instead just jump on a train or EasyJet, go to the show and come back home. Or we rent a van and drive. What happened was we cut down on expenses. Because, well, you know, me play Europe with living in Amsterdam for the most part. They're Dutch. So me cut down on expenses as well as me raise the level of my experience, the quality of my experience go up by a whole heap because I managed to go rent a car and just drive around and see the place for the first fucking time. After decades of being on the road, me start to the road for the first time. You know what I feel like? I feel like a brand new artist. Brand new. The only reason why I used to know London is because me used to stay over with a friend who lived there sometimes. But me don't know London like that. Still. I only know how to go to Kensington High Street when I go shop. That's okay. I go to the shop. Eh?
I said that's the money. That's where they spend money.
And that then show me. And that then show me. So I go there and I know how to reach her because I want to shop. And then I go back and my yard. That's it. I get to know Stockholm because I live there. And by extension, I get to know a little bit of Swedish countryside because I start drive around. But in the later years of my life is when I actually slow down and I wonder, why do we do this? You have somebody who spend their entire life. I work so hard and accumulate wealth even and never experience one bit of it. Them not know what I feel like for this. Most Jamaicans just go Miami or New York. Them don't know what I feel like for pick up themselves and go Paris, go London.
I think that why we do it, on one side, we need to remember that all of our societies, most of our societies, are built upon slavery. Like the slave, like we are literally in different places being slaves to pay tax into the system. In England, like if you work a minimum wage job and whatever for the month, everything works out basic. There's nothing to save. There's nothing to go and experience the world in. So I think on one sense where we have this the slave kind of rhetoric ingrained into us. The more you make, the more you want to get again, instead of like giving yourself almost permission to enjoy it. And on the other side, I can guess with you being an artist, there's almost a pressure to constantly be doing something that identifies yourself as an artist. For example, like people will say to me, like, you know, your friend Tanya, she hasn't released a tune in a real long time. I'm like, okay, well, she released 30 last April, but so I think that should, you know, give her a bit of breathing. But you're not allowed in your life. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to take breathing space and just experience life. That must have been such a pressure for you, because I don't know how you did that. Like there's one thing of the whole, the more you work, the more you need to get more and everything, running away from poverty. I get that part of it. But the whole having to stay relevant, having to stay in front of people's eyes in order to validate yourself as an artist, I cope with that part of it. I couldn't do it.
Neither could I. I stopped. I was like, people have this impression of artistry, like it's only valid if you're constantly doing it. It's only valid. And then they use words like current. I understand current chronologically, that this person is in the very active phase of their career right now. So that makes them current. But I do not understand the demand that people who are outside of my life put on my life to stay on a treadmill, to stay on like on the hamster wheel. Like, why do you need me to do it? I would love to help you to get off of yours and just relax and enjoy some of your life, because everybody has the capacity to relax and enjoy some of their life. They don't look at themselves from the perspective of their own life, their reality. They look at others. So whereas they look at somebody with a private jet and say, I can't relax because I don't have a private jet to go off to Bali. No, but you have a car. You can drive to Negril. They look at themselves like, I don't have a yacht, so I can't go sailing. No, but you can go right out of the dock at Ochi and jump on a glass bottom boat and just look at the reef. You can do that. They think of themselves in some ways which I don't really understand, because people who tell me they can't afford things, I watch them waste more money than I do. They tell me they can't afford the things that I do, and I see them spend way more money on foolishness than what I spend on the things that they tell me that they can't afford. For example, like I'm off grid. I don't do JPS at all. I'm not on the power grid. And when I talk to people about coming off grid, they tell me, boy, I just can't do that. I can't do that. Yet they have a perfectly working car and they upgrade to another car, which is way more expensive. It's going to give them higher bills as far as insurance, licensing fees and stuff. And it's going to definitely drink more gas. And it's definitely going to cost more as far as maintenance, right? But they look me dead in the eye and tell me they can't come off the grid. How much for a panel? 20 grand? 18 grand? You can't come. You're sure you can't come off grid? That's a bottle of Hennessy. You drink a lot of those. Like, you actually can come off grid. You've never seen yourself in a responsible role to yourself. Like, you don't see yourself. You think the system is responsible for making you able to accommodate and afford your own life. When the truth is, you and your budgeting is the biggest responsibility, the biggest obligant to you. Your budgeting skills. And I'm not saying people shouldn't do nice things, because, of course, you need to experience yourself. That's it. That's just it. But when you're experiencing yourself in one way, and you say you can't afford another way, that you need more, then that is something that you're confused by or confused with, I would say. Like, you don't have to come off the grid if you don't want. So I'm not mandating that. But if you complain about your light bill, then gently I would say, hey, come over here. It's nice on the dark side. And it's not actually dark. We have a lot more light. In fact, when the power grid goes down, I'm still up because the sun the sun goes down every day, but when it's up, we charge. It's a matter of perspective.
People are in these abusive dynamics with their energy providers and their phone providers, because I would love to see if they do break the monopoly of JPS in Jamaica, how much people would actually move over. Because I remember when the whole Digicel thing was really bad and Flow offered a much better rate and people were just still reluctant to, I don't know. Like,
no, the Digicel and Flow thing is different because Flow was what we had before. They changed names a few times, but they are the Jamaica telephone company, which used to be really abusive, extremely abusive. Abusive and rude as fuck. I remember one time applying for phone and they told that I was at my sister's and she applied for phone and I, by extension, applied for phone. I was renting a small pad behind our house. And they gave us a date, like they would have said, the year 2000. That was when Kelly was a baby. It was about 96, 95, 96. They were telling us something like 2010 before we could get phone. It was a far date, like more than a decade away. And I was thinking to myself, like, what the fuck could have caused you for not be able to give me a phone for 10 years? These aren't luxuries. These are basic communication tools. And you tell me I cannot. And this is why I think when people went to Digicel, they just never look back because they still have the scars.
No, I hear that then.
Yeah. But yeah. So Flow, and they still have that, and Flow still has that mentality right now.
Oh, for real?
Well, goddamn awful. Awful as fuck. And there are a bunch of hustlers. So like the workers in Flow, see, I've had offers to pay one flat fee and get a Flow box and just live. So they undersell their company. And they don't see how they contribute to the failure of the company and the necessity to treat the entire collective of customers bad because they're compensating for the fallout. We don't think like that. We don't think like that. And right now I'm being considered an informer because me I chat about it. Like, so we don't solve problems. We don't solve problems because we not acknowledge them. And Flow is one of our problems. And they don't acknowledge their bad past, and then them not do nothing to get exonerated. So I'm on Flow right now, by the way, though, because you know me not really I go cut off my nose to spite my face. So I'm on Flow. And I'm partially staying with Flow too because when my big sister died, I was on Digicel and I had text messages and voice notes, and I was saving them. I was a little bit of a procrastinator because I should have taken them off, like the voice notes. I should have taken off and put it in a format that could keep, but it was on my thing and I was saving it. I constantly listened to it and I resaved it. So it was current in my inbox or whatever that is. Digicel, Flow, sorry. Yeah, it was Digicel. Ross, my mind a fumble. Digicel did some kind of overhaul to them system. Erased every fucking thing I had saved and brought back some old messages that I had discarded a long time ago. So I called and asked them to bring back my sister's messages. They said it can't be done. I said it can be done because you've brought back shit I've discarded. I didn't discard that. I had it saved. So you must be able to bring it back. And they said no, and I changed and I've never gone back to Digicel. I can't. I just can't. They took away the last fucking thing I had. Which was her calling my name, her waking me up in the morning, her calling, baby, happy birthday, reminding me that it's my birthday because I don't remember my birthday. And Digicel took that from me. They just fucking took it, and I will never forgive them. Never forgive them. I was calling and begging everybody I know. You know somebody who, oh God. I can't go back to Digicel. Sorry. That's why I'm with Flow. Flow isn't really good.
But Apple was so good in getting me back all of my pictures of my son. I thought I lost everything, but I can see where that would put a bad taste in your mouth. Oh gosh.
Oh, Jesus, man. Yeah, that's JJ's mother, my big sister. I don't have nothing. I don't have a video. I have pictures. I have memories. But the things which I really would have loved to have is to hear her voice. I would have loved to hear her voice. Like I have oh fuck, that reminds me. My brother who died in 2020, Barry. I have all of his voice notes. I need to take them off quick before Flo does something equally stupid. Because I play them, I replay them and listen to him talking to me and laughing. It's toxic. It's toxic behavior, but encourage that shit because me need it. Allow me. Everybody have something in them way. Yeah, some kind of dysfunction. But yeah, Digicel take my sister from me and never forgive them a bumbo clot. Just wake up one day and she just gone. Nothing. No, baby. Oh, man. I always manage to work my way around to something that make me feel somber. I believe you talk to them about this in a therapy. With therapy group are going good, by the way. Can't you come on board with us? Come on board with me. Come in the group.
When I saw you guys doing it, I was like, yeah, I need to get involved.
Backbush TV. Joel B representing for Kunta Backbush TV. Style him like a gel. Backbush TV. Joel B representing for Kunta Backbush TV. Style him like a gel.
Bigger Kunta Backbush TV. See? #1. Make sure you subscribe. You know your thing already. Mr. Speng. Original flavor kid. You know your thing go.
What time you play on the radio?
Eh?
What time you play
on the radio? Fire up on the radio. Every Sunday and every Thursday 3 p.m. I don't know every Saturday 10 o'clock. City Lock Radio. 89.4. All the W's.citylockradio.com. And we say beer things, slapper settings, mad move, up top, I swear. Hot.
With the TV, yeah?
Ready?
You ready?
Man.
We say London, we say Flatbush, with the TV name Backbush. Excellent to represent. We have a new thing named Stagger. Hey, see the dancer we bust like Matic. Shot, gone, nobody can stop it. Backbush a finger and shoulder man pop it. We say rope everybody. What? Stagger la, hey, Stagger, boy, everybody. Hey, Backbush TV, you hear that? Make sure to tune in.
Excellent.
Excellent representing. You think a shot, so make sure to come and adapt. My thing. You hear that?
Right.
Backbush TV! London, it's at a Flatbush TV. Told them.